Please let me know if you can hear me. The last live I started, I was connected to my car, so you couldn't hear me. All right, and I apologize for that because what I'm saying today is very, very important. Today I had a will appointment. I already have a will in place, but it needs to be updated because I am now remarried and I have a child. And for all of you out there, if you get remarried or if you have a child, that is something that you want to make sure that you absolutely redo. And you also want to go and revisit your beneficiaries on your life insurance policy. A lot of times when people get remarried or divorced or people pass away, they don't go and revisit their life insurance policy beneficiaries, and they don't go and revisit their wills because you'd want to remove or add people or redistribute assets, you know, as you would see fit at that time, as you have changes. And I've seen cases where people get divorced and they leave the ex on as a beneficiary, and you have a new spouse and the ex gets everything, or they get most of everything, you know. And then, you know, it is what it is because they're going to give it and distribute it to whomever is listed as the beneficiary. But with all of that being said, like, I had the will appointment today, and we were going through all of the documentation and forming trust and everything for the children, because we do have minor children, so that's very important as well. If you want to make sure that the children are taken care of and they have a certain amount of money distributed to them for their care up until they turn a certain age, then you want to direct that money into a trust for them, to protect those funds. Welcome again. If you were in my last live, hello. I apologize, my sound was off, but I am talking about the importance of having a will and life insurance policy today. All right. So in having that will appointment and going through all of that and asking questions and going through all of those important documents, some other very important key documents that are in a will, if you have a thorough will, is a living trust, a health directive, which will, you know, say your wishes if anything were to happen to you. If you were incapacitated and you couldn't make your own health decisions, you would designate who you would want to make those health decisions for you. And also, if you want to be put on life support, how long you want to be put on life support, do you want to be an organ donor, or any of those important things that would go in your health directive. And the other thing would be, besides the living trust, the health directive would be the power of attorney, and your financial power of attorney. Who do you want to take care of your financial affairs if anything were to happen to you? So a will is important, but all of those other little pieces are just as important, okay? You don't want to forget about those. And it can get expensive. However, through my place of employment, it is a you know, a benefit that I have, because I did elect to get the legal package, because I know we have a lot going on with businesses and minor children and all of that. So I elected to get the legal benefit, so that we could have access to attorneys at a discounted price. And a free will is actually part of that package. All right, I don't want to ignore you guys, so I'm gonna go in and say hello. Hello, Pancho Villa. Hello, Mr. Guri. I think that's how to pronounce it. I'm not going to even try to pronounce your first name. You're an Indian boy. Beautiful lady. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hello, Nairu and Lesper Quetz 08. Hello, how are you all? If you're in the United States, let me know. Do you have a will? What was the process like for you? And just tell me how that went. But also, another thing I discussed with the attorney today while going over our wills was the fact that it's not wise to leave life insurance proceeds to a minor. And that is because minors don't have the right or the ability to make legal or financial decisions. So whatever money you leave to a minor in a life insurance policy is going to get caught up in court, because it's left to the minor, so it can't go to anybody else but the minor. So it's going to get stuck in probate in court, and it's going to probably eat up a lot of the funds, or eat up the funds of the person trying to get it. All right, and then you have all of these different fees and court fees and legal fees and interest that gets tacked on. And you don't want to do that, because the whole point is to leave the money for the child, for the benefit of the child, and you don't want it to get eaten up. So with that being said, some other options, instead of leaving proceeds from a life insurance policy to a minor, the other things you could do is leave it to a custodial account for the minor. For example, I have a goddaughter, and I listed her as a beneficiary on one of my life insurance policies. But because she's a minor, if something happens to me, that money is just going to get caught up in court. And I don't want that. I want her mom to be able to access it and put it away for her. So what I'm going to have to do is go back to my beneficiaries on that life insurance policy, and instead of naming that child as the beneficiary, I have to name a custodial account for that child. Okay, so that will be the beneficiary. The custodial account for the child will be the beneficiary, not the child. All right, and I need to do that on several accounts, because there's several minors that I have listed that I need to go and make that change on. And at the time, I knew better. It's just that I didn't want that child's, not my goddaughter, I'm talking about other children that I named as beneficiaries. I didn't want their parents to become the beneficiary of the money that I was leaving for the child. So instead, I rathered it get caught up in court, even though I knew that, than for it to go to that parent. So now that I know better, I'm going to do better. All right. So yes, those are just some very important things I want to talk about. I am a life insurance agent by trade, so I know how all of that works, and I know the importance of life insurance. I know the importance of a will, having seen my father go through issues with a will not being written correctly, and having to deal with his siblings and all of that when his mother died, dealing with her assets. And personally, when he died, when my father died, I know what it's like to deal with a will and having to deal with probate and things like that. Now, had he had a trust, things would have been a whole lot easier for me. It took me over 2 years to settle his will, because a will is just telling your wishes, but a trust, it puts things more in a finite position. Okay, this is what I want to go to this person. It doesn't have to go through probate. It is what it is. But a will, it can be contested. It can go to probate. And God forbid you don't have a will, then your estate becomes intestate, and the state decides what happens to your assets. And none of us want to work that hard for all of our lives, and then our assets don't get to go to our family members or our loved ones. So yes, I love my family enough. I love my children enough. I love my husband enough to do a will and to get all of these things in place before I pass away, so that life is easier for them. In any way I possibly can, in life and even in death. I love my family so much that I want to make life easier for them. I am so tired of seeing fish fries and chicken fries and church functions to raise money to bury people because they did not have life insurance. It sickens me for people to pass away with tons of assets, and children, and young children at that, and not have a will. Okay, and all of that money gets caught up in court, and there's no money to actually take care of the minor children. It's nothing like, having your children bounce around because you did not designate a custodian for that child while you were living. So guess what? When you pass away, someone else is deciding where your child goes. Okay? So, all of that to say, it is very important. If you don't have a will, go and get one today. You can get a will on LegalZoom, just a basic will, just something. Something is better than nothing. All right? And if you don't have life insurance, if you do not have life insurance, you are doing yourself and your family such a great disservice. A lot of wealth is lost because families do not have life insurance. People pass away and the spouse has no way to pay off the mortgage. They have no money to take care of the minor children. They have no money to send these kids to college. They have no money to to just take care of basic things. Sometimes they don't even have enough money or any money to even bury the spouse. And that's sickening. When all it takes is just a few minutes of your time, if you're young and healthy, just a few dollars to make sure that your family has some finances to take care of your final expenses and to take care of any business or financial matters after you're gone. It doesn't take much at all. It really doesn't. So show your family how much you love them by getting your documents in place, getting your financial house in order. It's not a joke. It's not a game. There are even celebrities out here that are passing away that don't have wills. Okay, there is celebrities out here that are passing away that don't have life insurance, or that the companies or the that they work for or that they have contracts with, they're the ones who actually have the life insurance policies over them, and the family ends up getting nothing. Yeah, so that's how serious it is out here, and it's sickening. So let's stop that process. Let's get things in place to show our families that we love them. So I want to thank you all for watching. If people are broke, why the hell would they be worried about death insurance? Because if you're already broke, Mr. Malik Yasharallah, which you make no sense, especially if you're a believer in the Most. It makes no sense. You're supposed to take care of your children's children, okay? A wise man takes care of his children. And so if you're having kids out here and you're not willing to take care of them, that's very foolish and selfish, and you're worse than an infidel, you know? So if you're broke, that's all the more reason to have life insurance. So why would you want to pass brokenness down to your family lineage? Wouldn't you just logically want to stop the cycle? That doesn't make any sense, sir. Or bro or arc. Come on now, let's get it together. I'm gonna get you together now, so stop it. You're 24 years old, from India. Okay, hello, Sir Yokanta. I appreciate that. But yeah, Mr. Malik Yasharallah, unfortunately, as a life insurance agent, I have heard comments like yours far too often, and then people like you end up having a fish fry, and their families have to do a fish fry to bury you. So paying $10-20 a month, which you probably spend on tennis shoes or your cell phone every month, is worth taking care of your family. Don't go down that road with me, because I've seen some nasty things, and people get put in some very foul situations because they don't have any means to bury their family members. Okay, God controls the cycle, yes, but we're supposed to be good managers of and stewards of what he has bestowed upon us. And if the Most High has given you beautiful children to take care of, you're out here, I bet you have health insurance, Malik Yasharallah, and I bet you have car insurance, because they're mandatory. So just because life insurance is not mandatory, you're not going to have it when those things are going to take care of your family? Come on now, let's get it all together. You're not going to do that. The Most High has control, but guess what? You have to get up and you have to go out and work every day, because guess what? If you don't work, you don't eat. So yeah, I want to thank you all for watching. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. But leave your questions, comments, and concerns, and shalom, and you all be blessed.